Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that most people don't want to talk about. We all know how important relationships are, whether it's with a partner, a friend, or a colleague. The way we connect with others defines who we are. But here's the thing, the most successful relationships don't come from trying to control anyone. No, they come from understanding, respect, and a deep emotional connection. Today, I'm going to break down the real secret to building a connection that lasts. And no, it's not about being in charge or making someone bend to your will. It's about becoming someone they want to stay with, someone who listens, understands, and most importantly, respects the other person as an equal partner in the relationship. Stick with me, because if you're ready to learn how to make a relationship work in the healthiest way possible, this is going to be a game changer. Are you ready to discover how to connect, communicate, and build something stronger than just a simple relationship? Trust me, if you stay with me for the next few minutes, you're going to realize that everything you thought you knew about relationships could be turned upside down. Let's dive in. In every relationship, the foundation is built on one thing: respect. And let me tell you, if there's no respect, everything else crumbles. Now, I'm not talking about the kind of respect where you're just trying to avoid conflict or keeping the peace. I'm talking about a deep, genuine respect for who someone is, their values, their feelings, and their individuality. This is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without it, no matter how much you try to control things, it's going to fall apart sooner or later. Respect is one of the most powerful forces in any relationship, and it's often the one thing that gets overlooked. People can get caught up in the idea of trying to dominate or control their partner, thinking that if they have the upper hand, they'll be able to hold on to the relationship. But this couldn't be further from the truth. You see, when you try to control someone, you're pushing them away, whether you realize it or not. You're not valuing their opinions or treating them as an equal. And what happens when you don't treat someone as an equal? They start to feel small, unheard, and eventually they want out. So let me put it this way. Respecting your partner isn't just about agreeing with everything they say or doing everything they want. It's about recognizing them for who they are, understanding their point of view, and acknowledging their emotions, even when they're different from your own. When you respect someone, you listen. You show them that their thoughts, feelings, and desires matter. And that makes all the difference. Think about it. When you feel respected, you feel valued. You feel seen. And when you feel seen, you're more likely to open up to trust and to connect. But if respect is missing, the opposite happens. You close off. You become defensive. And suddenly, the relationship is no longer a partnership. It's a power struggle. Now, respect isn't just something you show when it's convenient. It has to be constant. It has to be the way you communicate, the way you handle disagreements, and the way you support each other's dreams. That means if your partner has an idea or a dream, even if it's different from yours, you listen. You don't shoot them down. You don't dismiss their ideas just because they don't align with your own vision. You respect that they have their own journey, their own goals, and their own voice. And here's the thing. If you want to truly build something lasting, that respect needs to go both ways. It can't be one-sided. If you're respecting her, but she doesn't feel respected by you, then you're still missing the mark. Relationships are about mutual respect. It's about creating a space where both of you feel heard, where both of you feel like you can speak your truth and be seen for who you really are. Now, let's talk about how respect looks in action. It means listening when your partner talks, not interrupting or brushing them off. It means valuing their time and their feelings. It's doing little things like respecting their boundaries, making time for them, and showing appreciation for who they are as a person, not just what they can do for you. It means you don't try to change them. You don't belittle them, and you don't manipulate them to get what you want. When you respect someone, you make them feel secure in the relationship. They know that no matter what happens, they won't be judged or criticized for being themselves. That security builds trust, and trust is the cornerstone of any strong relationship. Without trust, everything falls apart. But with respect and trust, you have the foundation to build a relationship that's not only strong, but also healthy. And let me tell you this, when a woman feels truly respected, she will open up to you in ways that you never thought possible. She will share her deepest thoughts, dreams, and desires because she knows that you are listening, that you understand, and that you honor her. But the minute that respect starts to fade, so does the connection. So, if you want to create a lasting, healthy relationship, it all starts with respect. Without it, you're setting yourself up for failure. But with it, you've got the power to build something strong, something real, and something that lasts. When you respect her, she'll respect you, and that's where the real magic happens in a relationship. When it comes to relationships, understanding is the key that unlocks everything else. Without understanding, you're just going through the motions, missing the deeper connection that makes a partnership truly special. Understanding isn't just about knowing what your partner likes or dislikes, or what makes them smile or frown. It's about truly grasping what they're feeling, what drives them, and what their needs are, even when those needs aren't explicitly said. It's about getting beneath the surface, about seeing the world from their eyes, and being able to connect with them in a way that makes them feel heard, valued, and respected. A lot of people struggle with this because they believe that understanding means always agreeing. They think that if you understand someone, it means you're supposed to see everything from their perspective, and that can create tension when you disagree. But understanding isn't about agreement. It's about empathy. It's about recognizing that someone's feelings, thoughts, and experiences are valid even if they don't align perfectly with yours. When you understand your partner, it doesn't mean you always have to see things the same way. It means you can still appreciate where they're coming from. And in turn, they can appreciate where you're coming from too. And I'll tell you something important here. When you understand a woman, it opens up a whole new world for you both. Women often don't just want you to fix things or tell them what to do. What they want more than anything is to feel heard. When they express something that's bothering them, they don't necessarily need you to jump in with solutions. They just want you to listen and understand what they're going through. In doing so, you create an environment where they feel safe to be vulnerable with you, to open up about their fears, hopes, and dreams. You see, it's the little things that matter. It's not just about understanding the big things, like their life goals, their career aspirations, or their core values, but also the small things. The way they like their coffee in the morning, the music they play when they're feeling happy, the stories they tell about their childhood. Those little things are part of what makes them who they are, and paying attention to them shows that you care. When you understand the small details, you show them that you value them as a whole person, not just a partner, not just someone who plays a role in your life, but someone whose entire existence matters to you. This kind of understanding goes hand in hand with patience. When you truly try to understand your partner, You're willing to take the time to hear them out, to dig deeper into their thoughts and emotions, and to appreciate them for the full spectrum of who they are. It's about not rushing to conclusions or reacting impulsively. If you're trying to understand your partner, it means you're patient enough to let them express themselves fully, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. Understanding is a long game. It's not a quick fix. It's an ongoing effort to connect at a deeper level. And here's something that's often overlooked. Understanding is active. It's not just something you do once and then forget about it. You have to keep showing up, being present, and making an effort to stay connected to your partner's emotional world. People change over time, and so do their feelings, dreams, and concerns. If you don't make an effort to keep understanding your partner's evolving needs, you'll find yourselves drifting apart. Understanding is about staying attuned to their inner world, adjusting, adapting, and evolving together. What's amazing is that when you understand a woman at this deep level, she begins to feel not only safe, but valued. She knows that you see her as she truly is, and that's a powerful feeling. It's something that builds trust and deepens intimacy. She doesn't have to explain herself over and over because you get it. You understand her struggles, her joys, and her fears. This kind of connection fosters an environment of love where both partners feel like they're working together as a team, not as two people just coexisting in the same space. Understanding your partner also means being able to navigate the tough times with grace. Every relationship faces challenges, and during those times, understanding is the glue that holds everything together. When things go wrong, it's easy to get defensive or frustrated, but understanding allows you to respond with empathy, offering support instead of judgment. Instead of accusing, you listen. Instead of fighting, you seek to understand the root of the issue. You're not trying to win the argument, you're trying to preserve the relationship and grow through the challenge. So if you want to build a strong, lasting relationship, understanding is non-negotiable. It's the foundation that lets everything else flourish: communication, trust, respect, and love. When you take the time to understand your partner, you're not just improving your relationship, you're improving the way you connect, the way you grow together, and the way you support each other through the ups and downs of life. Understanding is the magic that turns a good relationship into a great one. When we talk about respect, it's not just about the actions we take, it's about the attitude we carry into the relationship every day. Respect is one of the most fundamental elements in any connection, especially when we're talking about love, because without respect, there's no foundation for anything meaningful to grow. It's more than just polite gestures or formalities. Respect is the deep recognition of your partner's worth, their boundaries, their thoughts, and their individuality. When you respect a woman, you're showing that you value her not just for what she can do for you, but for who she is, for the unique person she brings into the relationship. And this is the first step in creating a healthy, lasting bond. Respect in relationships is often seen as a given. Of course, we should respect each other, you might say. But let me tell you, it's something that has to be actively cultivated. Respect is earned. It's earned by showing up, by listening, by showing appreciation for the things she does and the person she is. It's about not taking her for granted and acknowledging her worth consistently, even in the quiet, everyday moments. You don't wait until you're in trouble or need something from her to show respect. You show it day in and day out in the way you talk to her, in the way you listen to her, in the way you support her dreams and ambitions. And here's where it gets real. Respect doesn't just mean agreeing, with everything your partner does or says. It's about valuing their perspective even when it's different from yours. Think about this. There's no relationship without disagreement. It's a natural part of any partnership. You're not always going to see eye to eye, and that's okay. What matters is how you handle those moments of tension. Are you patient? Are you open-minded enough to listen to her side, to understand her point of view? Or are you more focused on proving yourself right? When you respect someone, you don't view disagreements as opportunities to win or assert dominance. Instead, you approach them as opportunities to learn, grow, and deepen your connection. It's about finding a middle ground, not just maintaining your position. Respect allows both parties to feel heard, even in the most difficult conversations. This brings us to another key aspect of respect: trust. You cannot have respect without trust, and trust is built over time, not overnight. Respect and trust are inseparable. They go hand in hand. Without trust, respect doesn't have the space to flourish. When you trust your partner, you're allowing them the freedom to be themselves without fear of judgment or manipulation. You're also trusting them with your own vulnerabilities. Trust is an unspoken bond that says, I know you've got my back and I've got yours, but this doesn't come by chance. It comes through actions. Trust is built on consistency, on showing up, on being reliable, on being honest even when the truth is hard to hear. If you respect someone, you will work on building this trust every single day. Let's be honest, relationships take work. They don't just fall into place because you want them to. It requires an investment of time, energy, and effort. Respect means you're willing to put in that effort, to work together to create something lasting. It means not taking shortcuts, not settling for a surface-level connection, but continuously engaging in the relationship. You can't just coast through life with someone you care about. If you respect her, you'll take the time to nurture the relationship, to work through the tough spots, and to celebrate the victories together. You'll put effort into the small, everyday acts that show your commitment to the relationship. Whether it's asking her about her day, offering a thoughtful gesture, or just being present, respect shows up in the little things. One of the most powerful ways respect shows itself in a relationship is through supporting her goals and dreams. If you truly respect someone, you'll encourage their personal growth. You'll celebrate their victories and offer comfort through their struggles. You won't be threatened by their success, but instead, you'll stand beside them, cheering them on, because you understand that their success doesn't diminish you. It elevates both of you. Respecting a woman means giving her the space and freedom to chase her ambitions, to pursue what makes her happy, and to grow into the person she is meant to be. When you respect her enough to let her flourish in her own right, you not only build trust, but you build a relationship that's rooted in mutual admiration and partnership. But respect isn't just about big gestures. It's also about acknowledging the little things. When you recognize the everyday efforts she makes, whether it's taking care of the family, working hard at her job, or simply showing kindness, you're reinforcing that you value her in every capacity. When you respect a woman, you acknowledge everything she brings into the relationship, not just the obvious things, but the quiet, consistent moments that might otherwise go unnoticed. It's easy to overlook the small details, but in those moments, true respect is shown. And when you take the time to show her that you notice, she'll feel more valued and cherished. Ultimately, respect is about creating a safe, supportive environment where both partners can be themselves. It's about understanding that each person has unique qualities and strengths that deserve to be acknowledged and celebrated. When respect is present in a relationship, both partners feel free to express their thoughts, share their vulnerabilities, and support each other in the journey ahead. And that's what makes respect the cornerstone of any meaningful, long-lasting relationship. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. And it's the thread that holds everything together through thick and thin. Respect isn't just an act. It's a way of living in a relationship that creates a deep, lasting bond. Understanding how to respect and treat a woman in a relationship is essential to fostering a strong, loving bond. One critical way to do this is by acknowledging her individuality. Every woman is unique, and it's vital to recognize and celebrate who she is as an individual. Too often, relationships become imbalanced when one partner neglects the other's individuality. When you respect a woman, you don't just love her for the role she plays in your life. You love and appreciate the person she is outside of that role. She has her own goals, dreams, thoughts, and desires, and recognizing her as a whole person means not trying to change her or shape her to fit an image that works for you. Instead, it means accepting her as she is, appreciating the qualities that make her unique, and supporting her in being the best version of herself, both inside and outside the relationship. A crucial part of recognizing her individuality is giving her the space to be herself. Relationships require closeness and connection, but they also need a sense of autonomy. Respecting her means understanding that she doesn't belong to you or anyone else. She belongs to herself. She should be allowed the freedom to pursue her own passions, friendships, and activities without feeling that she has to answer to anyone. By giving her the room to grow and explore her own interests, you demonstrate that you trust her to make her own decisions and that you have faith in her ability to be her own person. It's a powerful way of showing love because it means you're not trying to control or limit her. Instead, you're supporting her freedom while maintaining a close bond in the relationship. Another important aspect of respecting her individuality is understanding the emotional landscape she brings into the relationship. Emotions are complex, and every woman experiences the world differently. Sometimes she may need emotional support, and other times she may need space to process her feelings on her own. A respectful partner is one who takes the time to understand these emotional nuances and responds accordingly. This doesn't mean being a mind reader, but it does mean paying attention to the subtle signals she gives and being open to communication about her needs. She might not always articulate exactly what she's going through, but if you are emotionally in tune with her, you'll know when to offer comfort, when to give her space, and when to simply listen. Respecting her emotional needs is one of the most crucial aspects of any relationship because it builds the emotional trust that creates a strong foundation. There's also something to be said about supporting her in tough times. Every woman will face struggles and challenges throughout her life, whether they are personal, professional, or relational. A respectful partner is one who stands by her side during these tough moments, offering a shoulder to lean on, a word of encouragement, or practical help when needed. Then being her pillar of strength during difficult times reinforces the trust and commitment you share. This kind of support isn't just about offering solutions, but about being present. Sometimes the most respectful thing you can do is simply to be there, offering comfort, companionship, and empathy without trying to fix everything. This kind of emotional support goes a long way in building a deeper connection because it shows that you care for her as a whole person, not just when things are easy or when it's convenient for you. Moreover, a significant aspect of respect is not simply about reacting to her behavior, but also about how you engage with her words and actions. When she shares something with you, whether it's a victory or a concern, respect means giving her the time, attention, and validation she deserves. When a woman opens up to you, she's sharing a part of herself with you, and that trust should never be taken for granted. It's easy to dismiss or downplay someone's feelings when they don't align with our own perspectives, but respect means validating those emotions. Even if you don't agree, even if you see the situation differently, respecting her means acknowledging that her feelings are valid. If she's hurt, you don't have to have all the answers or fix the problem right away. Sometimes the most respectful thing you can do is simply to say, "I hear you," and be there with her, showing her that her voice matters and that you care about her experience. Finally, recognizing and respecting boundaries is essential. Every woman has personal boundaries, whether they are emotional, physical, or psychological. These boundaries are set not to limit the relationship, but to protect her well-being and ensure that she feels safe and valued. It's important to understand that her boundaries are not a reflection of her feelings toward you. Rather, they are an expression of her needs. A respectful partner never pushes against those boundaries or tries to convince her to compromise on what makes her comfortable. Instead, they engage with them openly and respectfully, understanding that boundaries are not obstacles to intimacy, but essential parts of building a healthy and fulfilling relationship. By honoring her boundaries, you're showing her that you respect her as an autonomous individual and that your connection with her is not based on control, but on trust and mutual understanding. In all of this, respect is about more than just treating a woman kindly on the surface. It's about understanding the layers that make her who she is. It's about recognizing her autonomy, emotional needs, and personal boundaries and honoring them with love and care. When you give respect in a relationship, you create a space where both partners feel safe, valued, and supported. This fosters a deeper connection, and it allows both people to flourish individually and together, creating a relationship that is based on equality, trust, and shared love. Respecting and understanding the importance of trust in a relationship is one of the foundational keys to truly respecting a woman and ensuring the relationship thrives. Trust is something that cannot be forced or demanded, but must be built gradually through actions, words, and shared experiences. Trust is earned through consistency, reliability, and the ability to maintain a commitment over time. When you show a woman that she can trust you to be there for her, to keep your promises, and to respect the boundaries she sets, you're creating an environment where she feels emotionally safe. Trust in a relationship is essential because it's the bedrock upon which emotional intimacy is built. It's the assurance that no matter what happens, the two of you are in it together, and that neither of you has to fear betrayal or deceit. One of the strongest ways to show a woman that she can trust you is through honesty and transparency. This means not only telling the truth, but also being open about your intentions, feelings, and actions. It's easy to assume that trust will automatically exist in a relationship, but in reality, it needs to be actively nurtured. If you want her to trust you, you have to show her that you are willing to be vulnerable and share your true self with her, even if it's uncomfortable at times. This doesn't mean oversharing or placing the burden of all your issues on her, but it does mean not hiding things that are important to the relationship. For instance, if something in your life changes, or you're feeling uneasy about the direction things are heading, being upfront about those feelings allows her to understand where you stand. It shows that you're not hiding your true thoughts and that you trust her enough to be open and honest. On the flip side, trust is also about honoring your commitments. When you say you're going to do something, follow through. If you promise to show up, be there. If you tell her that you'll support her, prove it through your actions. Broken promises or failing to live up to what you said will quickly erode trust. It's important to recognize that trust doesn't just build overnight. It's something that takes consistent effort over time. It's not about grand gestures all the time, but rather small, everyday actions that demonstrate reliability and dependability. Trust is built on the little things, like showing up on time, being where you said you'd be, and following through on your commitments. An equally important aspect of building trust is understanding the emotional vulnerabilities that come with it. When a woman trusts you, she is sharing not just her body, but her emotions, her fears, her dreams, and even her insecurities. This is why trust can be so fragile. It's important to never take these emotional vulnerabilities lightly. When she opens up to you, she's showing you parts of herself that not everyone gets to see, and you must handle those parts with care and respect. Laughing at her vulnerabilities or dismissing her emotions can shatter trust in an instant. On the other hand, when you listen and validate her feelings, you strengthen the bond and let her know that you can be trusted with her heart. This creates a deeper level of intimacy as it shows that you value her for who she is, not just the role she plays in your life. While trust is built over time, one of the most critical ways to break trust is through secrecy and dishonesty. If she feels that you're keeping things from her or hiding parts of your life, it creates an emotional distance between you two. Secrets breed suspicion, and suspicion breeds distrust. Whether it's small things like not being open about where you're going or bigger issues like being dishonest about your feelings or your intentions. Secrecy undermines the foundation of the relationship. Being transparent about your thoughts and your life is the most effective way to ensure trust remains intact. When you build a relationship on transparency, there is no room for doubt or fear about what might be happening behind the scenes. It's also important to note that trust involves being empathetic toward her needs and understanding her unique perspective. Everyone experiences the world differently, and it's important to listen to her point of view with an open mind. When she shares something that's important to her, whether it's a personal challenge, a moment of triumph, or a simple preference, show that you care by being empathetic. This demonstrates that you're not just hearing her words, but you're actively engaging with her experience. Empathy helps you understand why she feels the way she does, and it encourages her to trust you because she feels heard and understood. When she sees that you're emotionally in tune with her, it builds a deep, trusting connection that makes her feel safe and cared for. Trust also thrives on mutual respect and independence. Trust doesn't mean possession or control. It means allowing each other to grow independently. A trusting relationship doesn't mean being together 24/7 or knowing everything about each other all the time. It means trusting each other enough to allow for personal growth, space, and individuality. Respecting each other's independence fosters a healthy dynamic where both partners feel empowered and valued. When you give her the freedom to grow into her fullest potential, you're reinforcing trust by showing that you have confidence in her abilities and judgment. This kind of trust allows both people to flourish, leading to a healthier, more fulfilling relationship. Ultimately, trust is the glue that holds any relationship together. Without it, even the strongest relationships will falter. It requires patience, honesty, and empathy. But when you take the time to build and nurture trust, you're setting the stage for a partnership that's based on mutual respect, understanding, and love. It's a bond that can withstand challenges and celebrate the triumphs because, no matter what, you've got each other's back. Building a deep emotional connection with a woman requires a level of understanding, patience, and genuine interest in her thoughts and feelings. To truly connect with a woman and build a meaningful relationship, it is crucial to be attentive to her emotional needs and validate her feelings. Many men make the mistake of thinking that love is simply about physical attraction or providing material comforts, but a woman's emotional needs go far deeper. When she opens up to you about her insecurities, her past experiences, or even her future hopes, it's essential to listen actively and respond with empathy. Showing her that you value her emotions and appreciate the vulnerability she shares with you is a key part of creating a bond that goes beyond surface-level attraction. Being attentive doesn't just mean hearing the words she says, but also noticing the unspoken signals, the way she reacts to certain situations, her body language, and her tone of voice. These subtle cues can offer a deeper understanding of what she might be feeling or thinking. Sometimes it's not just about what she says, but about what she doesn't say. It's important to acknowledge and respond to these unspoken needs, as they can reveal more about her emotions than words ever could. By paying attention to these details, you demonstrate that you care about her well-being and are willing to invest time and energy into truly understanding her. Moreover, showing appreciation for her efforts is another critical aspect of building a strong emotional connection. Women often juggle many responsibilities, whether it's balancing a career, managing a household, or maintaining social relationships. When you take the time to acknowledge her hard work, whether it's in her personal or professional life, it demonstrates that you see and value her contributions. This acknowledgement doesn't have to be grand or elaborate. Simple gestures of recognition, such as expressing gratitude or complimenting her efforts, can go a long way in making her feel appreciated and loved. Another key element in building emotional intimacy is being patient and understanding during challenging times. Life can be stressful, and women, like anyone else, can face moments of uncertainty or difficulty. When she is going through a tough time, whether it's related to work, family, or personal struggles, being supportive and patient with her is essential. Offering a listening ear, rather than rushing in to fix the problem, shows that you respect her autonomy and understand that sometimes she just needs someone to be there for her. Giving her the space to express herself and reassuring her that you are there for her no matter what can strengthen the trust between you and deepen your emotional bond. In addition to patience, offering emotional security is another crucial factor. A woman needs to feel safe emotionally in her relationship. Emotional security means creating an environment where she can express her thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment or rejection. When a woman feels emotionally secure, she is more likely to open up and share her true self with you. This security is built through consistent actions that demonstrate your reliability and commitment. When she knows that she can trust you to support her through both the good and the bad, she will feel more confident in the relationship and in her own vulnerability. While emotional connection is important, it's also essential to support her independence and personal growth. A healthy relationship is one where both partners can pursue their individual goals and dreams while still remaining connected. Encouraging her to grow as an individual, whether through career aspirations, personal hobbies, or social interests, shows that you support her as a person, not just as a partner. This type of support fosters mutual respect and appreciation, as it demonstrates that you value her autonomy and want her to be the best version of herself. When you celebrate her achievements, big or small, it reinforces the idea her success and happiness matter to you. Lastly, it's important to remember that emotional connection is a continuous process. It's not something that is achieved once and then forgotten. It requires ongoing effort and attention. As the relationship evolves, so too will the emotional needs of both partners. Therefore, it's crucial to continue nurturing the emotional bond by checking in regularly, having open and honest conversations, and maintaining the same level of respect, patience, and understanding that you did at the beginning. Relationships thrive when both partners are committed to growth, communication, and emotional intimacy. The most meaningful connections are those that are built on a foundation of emotional understanding and mutual respect. By being attentive to her needs, offering support during tough times, and fostering her independence, you create a relationship that is not only based on attraction, but also on deep emotional intimacy. When both partners feel valued and understood, the relationship becomes a source of strength, support, and love, offering both individuals a sense of fulfillment and happiness that lasts.